so awesome and so inspirational because nowadays most of the professional athletes, they do this full time. They cannot have a job. This is their own job. They just focus on themselves, on their calories, on their competition, on their training. So when you have a proper job, especially a job that requires working with people, that's when the hard side kicks in. And then this is great when you're able to somehow find the balance. But I know it will have an effect on your emotional stress thereafter.
Oh, massively. And I think we've been pretty good with it. I think our generation of people were quite good. But I'm seeing a lot of people coming in the clinic now. I treat a lot of fitness athletes. And we know a lot of people in the fitness world because it's a quite small world. A lot of people have been really messed up with it. I think our eating wise, I think after a show, straight after, and I was speaking to Misha about this, after a show that was 1 or 2 times I went crazy and had a fruitcake every single day.
I have some videos with my binging. You don't really want to see that.
But it's never really affected me long term. I've never been. People always say to me, "Kate, what were your macros and what did you do here when you got so lean?" I didn't think about that. I just went with my body. And every time I'm so old school, so every time I had to think about measuring things, I could never measure things out. You're good at measuring. Like, you still measure things out now.
I don't even think about it anymore. It just goes by automatically in my head. It measures even today.
Yeah. But I've never measured. I just put that in, that in, that in. I'm the most simple person. I'm the most technophobe person. I'm the most simple person. Anything that's most simple, I'll do it. If anything you have to think, especially when you're on prep and you have to think, it's just too much hard work. So, yeah, it's funny those days, aren't they? But
yeah, well, it was a phase of your life, of my life, and you know, I'm grateful to it because it helped me grow so much. It helped me make new friends. It helped me become who I am today and be able to share my story and help other people because I get so many girls every week. There is no week in which not to get 1 or 2 girls asking me how to get back to normal after a show, after competition, messed up with like so many dysfunctions and so many hormonal issues in their body. And I'm always trying to help at my best ability, but I know it's a very, very difficult part of your life. It gives you a little bit of gratification, but I think there's so many other ways to you know, choose this ego gratification, because this is what it is, a competition.
I will say one thing about you is you're very good at that. People don't know this about you. There's a lot of things people don't know about you. And you're probably one of the most generous people. And if someone's sick or someone's ill, you'll be the first person to make sure they've got the right tea, the matcha tea, and this powder and that powder and that powder. Like, your cupboards are filled up with different powders and green powders and spirulina powders. It's like you've got every powder and every tea in the world. And so you know your stuff. You know about hormones and stress release. You do a lot of research. A lot of people don't know this about you.
I didn't share it enough because my personal social media, Instagram, is more about me modeling this, but I don't really like to share. But I might. This is what I want to do with this podcast. I want to share more knowledge in this podcast so people can see that it's more than the body. Yeah, I've been studying so much. The first 5 years of my personal training, health and fitness lifestyle was just studying fitness courses, certificates, blah blah blah, seminars. And I was like, genuinely, before bed I would just study functional medicine and read about plants and read about everything and then apply with my clients, because this is the best way to get results. But you know, I don't share it as much on social media because I can't really give you everything just like that.
Cool. But that's one thing a lot of people don't know about you. And then you set up groups of motivation and positivity, and you share fitness tips all the time and motivation tips and stuff, stress and hormones, and you go so in depth the science of it. And people should know that about you, because there's so much about you people don't know how clever you are.
We'll just put it out now. We're going to.
We're putting it out there, everyone, because there's a lot more to this girl that you don't know about her.
Thank you, sweetie. This is.
I mean that.
But we're here to talk about you, not about me.
Okay.
Another episode. So, you have helped me to recover from so many issues with my back, with my lower back. My cervical spine is not okay. I actually have to come and see you for treatment soon. And I know that this is directly related to the emotional stress, because every single time I'm stiff, my lower back hurts, I would become more stressed and more moody, more emotional than I normally am. And I'm sure this is the case for so many other people, and I even read about it. So you're the expert here. So can you help us to understand a little bit more what's actually happening in the body when a spine injury happens or any problem with the spinal cord out there?
Okay, so first of all, God, where do we start? The first thing with chiropractic, the guidelines are saying, I even had to pull it up because I didn't really use it, but it says chiropractic traditionally is an alternative medicine concerned with the diagnosis, treatment of mechanical disorders of the musculoskeletal system. It's so much more than that. And I remember going to a seminar where my uncle said once that he said we transform people's lives, and I was like, that's a bit too much to say that, but it's true, because when people have had headaches for 20 years and suddenly get rid of their headaches, or they've been on medication for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, every single day, and their bodies are under constant stress, and you finally get rid of that, get them off the pills, get them off the drugs, get them off have headaches, they can become a good wife again, they can become good for their kids again. That's transforming people's lives. But I mean, I'll just try and get you to my little screen. So can you see me all right? Can I move you or not?
No problem.
So the best way to describe it before I go on anymore, can you see my screen there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you look at your body, this is what you look like underneath. So your brain sits here, and it communicates with the whole of your body through the spinal cord and out through the nerves. So it's vitally important this whole structure works well. If we have any imbalances anywhere through the structure, it goes to put pressure against the spine, pressure against the muscles and the nerves, and cause problems. So we get back pain and neck pain and arm pain and tingling in the arms and hands and legs and feet, headaches, digestive problems, that sort of thing. Stress is one of the biggest reasons why we get this. And the best way another way to look at that is if you imagine someone who's really stressed or unhappy or depressed, and they were standing behind a black screen just here, what would their posture look like? What would they be like?
Hunched and feeling, exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's
so the whole thing to do with chiropractic is about getting balance back into the spine. If someone's happier, less stressed, feeling happy and good about themselves, what do they look like?
They'll look open with the shoulders back, with the chest forward. They'll have a perfect posture.
So going from this to this. Yeah.
What you're trying to say is that our posture is directly related to our mental state.
Massively can be. But also, we look at chiropractic, it's always related to this as well. So it's not just about affecting all the nerves. The nerves affect all the organs in the spine.
Exactly.
And your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight or stress response is linked to this part of the spine here. Your parasympathetic, your rest states are linked to these upper parts here and lower parts here. So we've got to work on creating the spine in more of a resting state, a more relaxed state.
About the lumbar spine.
The whole thoracic spine here, sympathetic nervous system.
To explain for people who are going to be only listening to the podcast and cannot see.
Okay, so throughout the spine, you have the neck, the cervical spine, then you have the thoracic spine, the mid part of the back where the ribs come out, and then you have the lower spine. And a lot of time this day and age, people are stuck in the fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system. Thoracic spine, things over emphasized. So people's breathing rates increase, their heart rates increase, their blood pressure's raised, their muscles are tight, they have constant tightness and tension in the upper back, neck muscles. They have headaches, chronic headaches, fatigue, they're not able to sleep very well. They're all signs of stress. Now, when we come on to work on the spine, we work on releasing the tension in the spine. And that helps then to restore function, movement, balance. Sorry?
Function in the nerves as well.
Function in the nervous system. So they can then, therefore, correctly respond and fire properly. So it has a massive effect on our organs as well. Now, I can't say that in inverted commas. I can't say we can reduce blood pressure. I can't say, we can correct heartburn or anything like that. But when we treat people, it's what we see all the time.
Well, the chiropractic treatment should be considered as one of the most important additions to a whole lifestyle program for reducing stress.
Yeah, and I cannot tell you the amount of times in my office where I had a patient lie on the bench who's really stressed or have a lot of emotional trauma.
Everyone has nowadays, especially for people who live in London. By definition, people who live in London or in a big city, they are stressed out. It is what it is.
Don't get me started. And since I've been in London, I've been seeing much more. I mean, I've always worked in and around London. I worked in Finland for a little while, and the stress levels weren't quite as high as they are here, although they were stressed.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is across the board is that sometimes, lots of times I'll have people on my bench, I'll adjust their spine, the thoracic mid area here, and suddenly they burst into tears for no reason. I'm saying, you okay? And they get all embarrassed. I'm saying it's normal because they have so much pent up tension and problems through here. As soon as you release that, you do not know the power of the spine. You don't understand the power of neurology. There's so much more to chiropractic than just treating pain disorders.
Wow.
And so people with headaches and neck problems, suddenly their neck muscles release.
This also allows the blood flow to go to the brain properly, so they can like see better. Because every single time I have a treatment from you, I feel more enlightened. I feel more like I can see better. I can, function better. I feel like so released in my body.
I had a patient this morning who had a treatment, and he said, "Is this what normal feels like?"
Wow.
He says, only after his first treatment, and he was like, "I've had this problem for so long." Now, I'm not saying it's a one treatment quick fix thing, because people come in and say, I've got a 10-year problem, can you fix it in 1 or 2 treatments? No.
Yeah.
I won't do that. But over a period of time of rebalancing the spine and getting a course of treatment to get better, yeah. So when you have people to come in and say, "I've had this problem for 10 years, it's the first time I've been able to run in 5 years. It's the first time I've been able to go on holiday without pain for 5, 6 years." That's a huge thing for people. That's when I say it transforms people's lives. When people say they can go on holiday and play with their kids for the first time, or they can pick up their kids, or they can play football with their grandchildren. Do you know what I mean? And so that's really great to hear that. And so when people finally feel what new normal feels like, and one other thing I will say, God, I can talk all day about this, and I will slow down because I always talk so fast.
Listen.
Is that I forgot what I was going to say now. About the stress and tension and neck and shoulders. I forgot what I was going to say now. But yeah, basically, there's always so much stress and tension in through here all the time. And so when you start to release that down, it does help with all the headaches and tension. It will come back to me what I was going to say. It was a really good thing I was going to say, but I can't remember now. Anyway, go on to the next thing. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, it'll come back to you. So as guys, she gave us an amazing explanation on how stress is directly related to our posture or any situation your spine goes through. I don't want to say imbalance, or let's say like just bad position.
Imbalances. Yeah.
This can come from the way you sit down at the office. This can come from the way you walk. This can come from like just so many reasons.
Yeah, so a lot of people come in and say, "Why have I got this problem?" And the first thing I'll say, "Well, I don't know, because I haven't lived through a whole life for you." But a lot of it's the lifestyle factors. So how you sit, how you stand, how you twist, how you bend, how you move, how you carry, how you do all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with these things. I nag with patients a lot all the time. So the first things I change with people is simply how you get up out of a chair. Everybody does this. They use their back. And the thing is, if you look at a child when they first developed, and your neurology is tailored to the fact that you have to do things properly. So if you look at a child when they first start walking or they first start lifting things up, how do they lift? How do they bend down? Look at your nephew Victor.
Yeah.
When he goes to pick things up, how do you do it? If you watch all kids, they always use their legs. They squat down.
And they squat down. It comes natural, dear squat.
Yeah. So because it's ingrained in your neurology, that's how we're designed to do that. But over a period of time, as we start to get older, we start to become lazy. We start using our backs. This is what people get back pain. When we sit all day like this the whole time, the job of these muscles here is to pull back and spine to keep you lifted.
So this is where the big concern kicks in, because so many coaches, they said, "Oh, you cannot activate your glutes, hence you cannot squat properly." But how come a little boy, 2 years old, he does a perfect squat and he can engage the glutes, and then as we grow, it is a matter of glutes engagement, but it's also a matter of emotional stress.
Yeah. And lifestyle factors have a massive effect on that. And I'll just interrupt you there, because if you look at your spine, you've got your lower back here, you've got your pelvis and your lower back here. These nerves here go down towards the legs and the feet. We're facing that way. Here's the front, here's the back of the spine. And if things are functioning well, imagine a light bulb shining really bright and the electricity supply is going to it. It shines bright, it works well. But if you're sitting for a long period of time, putting too much chronic stress through here, distal nerves become irritated, with rotated through here. These nerves can't supply the glutes very well, then can't fire. You can't supply the lower legs very well. So you can do all the stretching in the world and the exercise in the world until you release all this off.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
How about people like me who have this lumbar spine curvature really deep? Right.
Well, everyone, a lot of people have. It's normal to have like a lumbar spine curvature. Do you know when you're actually born?
When
you're
it's
born
exaggerated.
yeah, you're born like that. When you're born with one curvature of the spine. As a baby starts to lift its head, it starts creating the curvature of the spine up through here. As it starts to walk, my spine's a bit twisted here. You start to create the lumbar curve through here. But yeah, it all depends on how you're functioning through here. So if you're too tight in the hip flexors, or if your glutes aren't firing, or you're too tight down through here, it's going to affect your lumbar lordosis, the way the nerves are firing through here, and the pressure on the discs. So I mean, everyone's going to have certain curvatures.
Yeah.
But it's how we keep that balance in there.
Yeah. Wow. This is great. This is great, Katie. Thank you so much for explaining, and I hope this all makes sense. Thank you all for watching ProBody Talks. We will be bringing you more guests in my upcoming episodes. Great inspirational human beings, so stay tuned. We have a lot of valuable information that I hope will inspire you all. In the meantime, you can support us by subscribing to my Patreon account. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.